everyone, I'm Jamie and I blog over at So Much Better with Age, and today I'm just going to show you my super easy, never fail pastry recipe. I've had it since grade 9 cooking class, so anybody can do it. I just want to show people that you can make a pie pastry from scratch, and here we go. So the first thing you need is 2.5 cups flour, just all-purpose flour. You need, this is what I always use. Crisco old vegetable shortening. I need about a cup of this. You need some vinegar, table salt, 1 egg, and some water. Okay. Oh, a couple extra special tools. This is the lifesaver tool of making never fail pastry. It's a pastry blender, and of course a rolling pin and a flour sifter. Okay. Is your flour sifter. You're going to sift all the flour. It makes for a really light, fluffy pastry. I've sifted my 2.5 cups of flour, and now I'm just going to add salt, and I just do a little sprinkle. I don't think it needs much else. Give it a little stir. Now we need to add the vegetable shortening. It comes with this little handy measuring tool, which is great, so I just use that. We just need 1 cup. Okay, so this little measuring tool, I just measure out 1 cup. It's pretty handy. Okay, then put it into pieces, into your pastry, or sorry, into your flour, soon to be pastry. Okay, the next step, we're going to blend it all in. And now this is the secret tool, this pastry blender. This is the essential secret, basically. You want to get all the shortening incorporated into the flour. And then you just need a knife to scrape it off every now and then. Okay, so you need to get it quite small. So just keep working it so that the little shortening becomes tiny little crumbs. Okay, that looks good. Okay, next you need an egg. Crack it into a measuring cup and blend it up. Now you're going to measure in 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. And next you're going to add really cold water up to about 3/4 cup. You're not going to use it all. And now we're going to mix it in. Now this is always the tricky part that everyone seems to get confused about, but it's really not that tricky. Just make sure it's blended up. Pour a bit in. Don't use it all. Doesn't matter if there's eggs still in there. And you don't want to stir or play with it too much, because an overworked pastry won't turn out. A little bit more. So I have about 1/4 cup left. So use roughly about a cup, half a cup of water. Now you're just going to try to build it into a little bit of a ball. And it's okay if you don't get some of it incorporated. And that is it. That's it, folks. Don't play with it any more than this. What? Okay, I've just put 2 pieces of plastic wrap on my counter. I'm going to transfer this over onto one. Those little crumbs you don't need to worry about. Okay. We need to put it in the fridge for 1 hour to chill. I like to measure it out right here. I usually do about 2/3 to 1/3. 2/3 will be the bottom half of your pastry. pie pastry and 1/3 was the top. I find it works better. Put it in your plastic wrap and smush it down so it looks like you're already in the shape to roll it out. And this will save you a step. Okay, so there's one. And two. Okay, pop these in your refrigerator for 1 hour. Okay, so they've been in the fridge for an hour. They're really cold. And let's start with the biggest one. You want a really clean surface, so make sure you sanitize your counter. Flour out a little spot and put out your pastry. So you'll see there's lots of different, some parts are crumbly, some parts are kind of gooey. And this is where I think people get scared. Okay, you just start rolling it and it'll be fine. It'll all incorporate. I like lots of flour. Okay, start rolling it. And obviously I don't have any special technique. It's cold, so it'll crumble. The only other trick is keep getting the underside with flour. That way you can easily turn it. So kind of just turn it and roll. You want to kind of start from the middle and roll out. And when you roll, you'll see that it'll pull back a little bit. And if it doesn't roll back, that's a really good sign, because if it goes in the oven, it'll shrink in the oven with heat. So the colder it is right now, the better. Okay, so if you're a beginner, there's two different types of pie plates here. I have a 9-inch and a 10-inch. 1 inch makes kind of a big difference with size. I would try to use your small one first, because then you have more pastry to play with. So just put your plate aside. Gonna lift it up, move this aside, and you just fold it over and then place it half in your pie plate and half over. And be sure to pick it up and push it in. If you stretch it out, your pie pastry is going to shrink in the oven. So you want to make sure it's a really good fit. So put it in. Now your pie is ready for any kind of filling you want. We're going to do an apple pie, and all you need to do is roll out the top, and we'll do that later. But essentially, you've just made a never fail pie pastry crust. Okay, we have our pie filled with our apples, and I've just rolled out the last top pastry, so I'll just show you how to put it together. Just roll it out, just like we did the second time, or the first one. And you pop this on top. Now, you just have to take some off. You can use a knife or scissors, but I just tend to rip it off. You just want just enough. You want to tuck both of them under, and then you tuck them into the pie plate. And if it seems like it's too much, I should take it from the bottom one. And just keep going around to the whole thing. It's done. Okay, so now I just have it all tucked under, and the way you flute it is, I guess you could do anything you want, but I just usually pinch. I just kind of like pinch my finger in it all the way around. Just make sure it's stuck on the edge. If it's not stuck on the edge, it'll sink down into the pie plate. You're kind of letting it hang on to the pie plate when it cooks. Okay, almost done. Now you just need some vents in the top. As you do about 4. There you go, in the oven. So you can see how this turns out and get the recipe on my blog, So Much Better with Age. Thanks, guys.
The sweet, sweet